Hello, welcome back. I wanted to do an update video on social media, and I also wanted to talk about the new law in Australia that's come out recently. And yeah, there's been a lot of controversy around it, and I guess I just want to say my opinion on it, being a mother and being someone who has quit social media this past year. But I want to give you guys an update on kind of where I'm at with social media, what I'm doing to sort of stay off it, and also just my opinions on the law. So firstly, I'm going to start with where I'm at. I posted a video a few months ago, and a lot of people were very interested in my take on why I'm giving up social media and all that jazz. So I guess I just wasn't expecting it to resonate with so many people, but I think we're all feeling the strain and the pressure from social media. And yeah, I think I gave up social media. Must have been like around June or so last year. I do not have TikTok. I do not have Instagram. I haven't used either of them. I will say I do use Facebook occasionally, but it's more so just so I can use Marketplace. Originally, I had deleted Facebook, deactivated it. And I realized I kind of need it for a few things. So I've decided Facebook is the only one that I'm going to keep, but I am very strict about when I go on it, what I do on it, and all of the things surrounding it. So I have very strict measures on my phone, so I can't get on it on my phone. I have to go on my laptop. I can get it on my phone, but it's hard. It's really hard, and it's not even worth it, so I don't really go on it. But for someone like me, we are a one-income household, I don't like to buy a lot of new furniture and new things. I like to recycle, and I like to get things off Marketplace because it's cost efficient and it's good for the environment. So I was like, I can't really sacrifice Facebook Marketplace because it is so good, and I've gotten so many amazing things off Facebook Marketplace. So I have kept Facebook mostly for Facebook Marketplace. But occasionally, and especially I noticed this around Christmas time, I wanted to see what events were on in the local area. And all of my family and friends use Facebook for their events. So if I do not check it, I miss stuff. And I wasn't really on Facebook for quite a few months, and I missed quite a few events just because I didn't see them on Facebook. And, I don't see all my friends enough to be told in person. So I've made it a priority to make sure I'm just checking it at least once a month to make sure there's no events popping up. I also go and I like to write down events in the local area and things like that so that I can take my daughter to things because there's always events happening, and that's the best way to find out about them. So I still have Facebook, but I'm very intentional with it, and I don't have it on my phone, so I don't use it like a social media sort of thing. I had a really good setup on my old phone about, it would block shorts and it would block news feeds and it would do all this sort of stuff. And I got a new phone, and I did sort of relapse a little bit for maybe a week where I was sort of on and off Facebook and also YouTube Shorts because I had it all through this app that was blocking the shorts, so I couldn't see shorts because when I watch shorts I just scroll. So anyways, I went from Apple to Android, and I had to find a new app, and I got that all set up probably, I don't know, a few days to a week after I got my new phone, and that's helped so much. So it just, if I can see the shorts, but if I click on it, it will just immediately pop up and be no, you can't go on it, and it will just take me out of it. So I can't watch shorts, I can't watch stories, I can't do any of those really quick types of content. I just find they absolutely rot my brain, and they make me feel terrible every time I watch them. So I try to stay away from shorts, reels, those sorts of things. But obviously I don't have Instagram, don't have TikTok, and it's just Facebook and YouTube that I sort of have to worry about. So I've got precautions set up on my phone. So it does block shorts on YouTube, and it blocks reels and short form types of content on Facebook. If I want to use Facebook, I try and just use it through my computer, and I try and only check it once or twice a month just to check for those events, and also marketplace if I need it. But I'm finding that's working really well. I'm not going on Facebook barely ever. So yeah, I find just not having it so accessible on my phone and not being able to like access shorts is what is helping me to stay off it. But yeah, obviously in my last video, I said I was going to keep you guys updated because I knew there was going to be struggles and I knew things were going to have to shift and change a little bit. And that's what I'm finding is working for me. So yeah, I would still say I am like off social media. Like I don't use Facebook as a social media. I more use it as an events app and a Facebook marketplace. That's literally all I use it for. I think the thing that I struggle with Facebook is because most of my family and my friends are on there, and I don't see a lot of my family and friends. Like everyone sort of lives everywhere. And in Australia, like we are all so far away from each other. Like it is, yeah, everyone's everywhere and it's hard to see people. And I do like, using Facebook to maybe like update people on what's going on. So maybe if we were like expecting another child or, we had some big milestone, like we bought a house or something like that, maybe I would consider posting that on Facebook just so my family and friends could see what's going on. That's where I'm at with social media and it feels really good. I am still thinking I might end up getting one of those bricks so I can fully brick my phone, because even though I don't have social media, I feel like at nighttime I still find ways to scroll on my phone, whether that's on the internet or ChatGPT or any of those things. Like I find ways to keep myself on my phone, and I have so many beautiful little hobbies and things that I want to try this year, and I'm not going to be able to do that if I waste time on my phone. Yeah, the social media thing is going really well. I feel so much better now I'm not on it in regards to, like, obviously I said I'm still struggling with like scrolling habits, but not as much, definitely not as much, but I am noticing so much of a difference in my nervous system, in my mood. I just feel like I wake up and I don't compare my life to everyone else's before I've even, gotten out of bed. I feel like I just get up and I just live my life for me and my family, and I don't think about like what anyone else is doing, and I'm not comparing my milestones to other people's, because we're all just like running our own race, and I just don't think it's healthy to be seeing that stuff all the time. And even just negative news, like I talked about in my last video, just like not seeing so much of that. Like I still see things like, I still see things on YouTube because I watch long form. I get a lot of my news that way, through my husband, through people I know. Like I'm not missing out on anything in regards to news, but I'm not seeing terrible things all the time. And if I do see anything terrible or any type of content that I don't like on YouTube or whatever, because that's the only social media platform I'm using at the moment, if I do see anything I don't like on there, I am pretty active in telling YouTube, don't show me stuff like this, because I want my feed to be a positive place. And I love YouTube. It's like TV for me. So it's not something I plan on getting rid of. But since I sorted out like not being able to view shorts, I feel like my relationship with YouTube is good again, because for a little bit there, I feel like it was going a bit sour just because of the shorts. So yeah, I've been off social media for quite some time, and I've got to say, sometimes I do experience a little bit of FOMO, like when I'm with my friends and they want to like post something and like tag me in it or whatever. Like I'm like, oh, kind of miss that. But also like, why do I need that? I'm enjoying the moment, and I always have to just bring myself back to that. I'm like, it's just a post. You don't need to prove to anyone what you're doing or who you're with or you're having a good time. Like, who cares? Like, as long as you're having a good time and you're enjoying your time, that's what matters. And I think coming back to that always helps me kind of like bat away that FOMO, because like, who cares? I also feel like I'm not comparing like my friendships with my friends to their friendships with their other friends. Like I'm not like seeing my friend hanging out with someone else and going, oh my God, and feeling really bad about myself, or like feeling like they don't love me as much as they love their other friend, or just, silly little comparison things that we do in our head. I'm not doing those anymore because I'm not seeing it. And it just means that I can focus on being present in my relationships with my friends and family. And it's just, yeah, it's so beneficial to get rid of social media. So if you're thinking about it, if you're on the fence, do it. I'm probably going to do a video soon about all the ways and things that I use to keep myself off social media and just like my tips and tricks. So if you'd be interested in that, let me know. Yeah, I am pretty much 10 months into my no social media journey and doing well. So the second half of this video, I just wanted to have a chat about the new law that has been implemented in Australia, the under 16 social media ban. I thought I would just touch on this because it is in my local area. So yeah, and there's been a lot of controversy around it and I have some opinions about it. The biggest things that people are saying is that it's not going to work. The kids are going to find ways around it. They're going to flock to other apps and all this sort of stuff. And that it's going to be really hard, cold turkey for these kids. And look, I agree with that. I think that is really tough on them. But I think we need to think about it in a different way, because I think what the social media ban is doing is it might not necessarily be fantastic for the kids right now who are having to be cut off cold turkey from social media, but it's about putting in place measures to protect future generations. I feel like it is almost a little bit too late for these kids who have already experienced it, because not too late, but it's not going to, I don't think it's the point. I think it's more so like they've already experienced it, and as soon as they turn 16, they're going to get social media back. So I think it's more so for the future generations that are coming up. And I know as a mother to a little girl, it's something that I've always like thought about when she goes to school. Like, I would love to keep her off social media, but I don't want to alienate her from her friends. Like, school is hard enough as it is without, not being allowed to go on what all your friends are on, and it's tough. Like, you don't want to have to be that parent to do that. Like, I would do it to keep my daughter safe, but it's tough, and I think it makes it really hard on parents because kids will find a way around it. And so I think the fact that the government has put this measure into place, I'm hoping that these generations of kids are going to grow up and it's not going to be the norm. It's not going to be the norm that their age group is on social media, because it's extremely hard to set up a account. It's not going to be easy. I feel like the kids who are, have just lost their accounts and, things like that, they might find ways around it, sure. But hopefully the generations coming up behind them, hopefully it's not going to be like a normal thing for them, and they'll just know, like, we don't get social media until we're, 16. So I think it's less about like dramatic, sudden impact and changing the lives of the kids who have already got social media and then have lost it. I think it's more of a long-term game, a long-term plan to help future generations, grow up with less social media in their face. And oh my God, I think it's such a good idea. And I mean, there was a lot of backlash about it for a few weeks, even like a month or two there. And I see the occasional thing now, but I feel like a lot of the kids are embracing it. And I think that's fantastic. And I agree that it's very harsh on them to have to go cold turkey, because social media is an addiction and it's very hard for people to be cut off like that. But I hope that they can just get through it together. They're all doing it together. And, I hope it's beneficial for them, but I can understand how it would be really difficult for them I know how hard it was giving up social media. It's tough, and I'm an adult. So I think it would be very difficult, but I think they're going through this tough time, but I think they need to be so proud of themselves because they're going through this tough time so that future generations have a happier, less social media based childhood. So yeah, I think they should be proud to be a part of a generation that is making a change when you think about it. And hopefully it changes things for the kids going forward. And I hope that by the time my daughter is that age that, it's not going to be the normal thing, and I'm not going to have to be keeping her off these platforms, because hopefully, people will enforce it and the other kids won't have it too. But I mean, could be wishful thinking, I don't know, but that's kind of my sort of thoughts on it. But I just think something needed to be done about this, because kids are dying from online bullying, and they're suffering with anxiety and depression and all of these mental health disorders that, I just feel like they may not have if they aren't exposed to what they're exposed to online. Kids' brains are still developing, and they don't need to be exposed to all of that, and kids' brains are still developing, and I just feel like the more they're exposed to all this extra stuff and this external information and other people's lives and online bullying, and with the rise of AI, no one knows what's real and what's fake. I think it's a good thing. I don't think there can be anything that can convince me otherwise. I truly think it's a good thing, and I hope people can see that. I hope people can see that there's a positive goal in mind, and it may not be these current kids that have just, lost it. But, I'm sure they'll find their ways around it, because they're addicted to it. They're so used to it. They've grown up with it. I just hope that the future generations are going to have an easier time with it. And I do think it would be good to make sure we're educating our kids on social media. So when they do turn 16 and maybe they do want to get it, I think it's important to make sure they're educated about social media and, I guess just prepare them for that, because it could be a bit of a shock to them when they turn 16 and they get it for the first time. But I mean, I remember getting Facebook for the first time at 13. I look back on that and I think it's way too young to have social media. And I experienced probably very early forms of online bullying on Facebook, and it was awful. And it absolutely broke my little teenage heart, and it was really hard. And I honestly I feel for the kids that are bullied online, or just spend all their time thinking they're not good enough, because it's just not the case. And kids deserve to have a real childhood like what a lot of us got. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the social media ban, and a little update on where I'm at with my social media hiatus. I feel good. And if you guys want like a tips and tricks video on how I make it work, how I stay offline and all that jazz, let me know. I can maybe film one of those, but I did promise an update, so I thought that I would make this video for that reason. But stay present and enjoy your life, and there is more to life than social media and getting the perfect photo and getting the perfect video and all those things. There is more to life than those things. So if you enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to subscribe. It really helps my channel out and helps other people find this little corner of the internet. So I really appreciate it, and I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.